bet you'll come around, but don't get me wrong. Do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. I feel it in my bones like you'll come along now. Baby, you coming through. Do what you gotta do. Take it to the big scene. Take it all. Go for hope and glory. Go, go long. Baby, for love. Go all for love. We're going for love. For beating hearts off the charts. Love. Go all for love. We're going for love. Baby, going for love. Baby, for love. I bet you'll get it right, but don't get me wrong. Say what you gotta say. Say what you gotta say. Go like a satellite, just go like a star now. Say what you gotta say. Say what you gotta say. Take it to the big scene, take it all. Go for hope and glory. Go, go long. Baby, for love. Go all for love. We're going for love. For beating hearts off the charts. Love. Go all for love. We're going for love. Baby, going for love. Baby, for love. Take it to the big scene. Take it all. Go for hope and glory. For beating hearts off the charts. Take it to the big scene. Take it all. Go for hope and glory. For beating hearts off the charts. I bet you'll come around, but don't get me wrong. Do what you gotta do. Baby, for love. Go all for love. We're going for love. For beating hearts off the charts. Love. Go all for love. We're going for love. Baby, going for love. Baby, for love. For the beating hearts. For the loving, for the beating hearts. For the beating hearts. For the loving, for the beating hearts. For the beating hearts. For the loving, for the beating hearts.
There's a lot going on in Smart Doll Land, and the Smarties may have their eyes closed, but we don't. I'm Sandy,
And I'm John.
and this is the Smart Doll News on My Lady Disdain.
We are back for our second week in 2022. I don't know what's going on there. My brain is very weird tonight. 2022. I'm excited to not quite have so much to talk about tonight, but maybe dig in a little bit more. 'Cause
Yeah.
Last week was a big one.
Yeah.
Um,
And really, we're just here because of the Tuesday night drop.
Right. So let's talk about this, because there's a conspiracy theory going around in the Discord now that Danny is somehow timing his drops to the end of our streams, which I certainly can't speak for at all. But like, why?
Yeah, why would he be? I don't know, but
Maybe we've just been, I mean, we timed it for the beginning of the week for them. So, sort of like the second day when they start really kind of announcing stuff anyway, to try and get like a good week's worth of news.
it might just be like a superstition thing, like you have to wear your favorite sweater for something.
Yep.
So like the Smart Doll News has to happen, and then we get a big drop.
Yeah. Lee says, I am convinced. So I don't think no matter what we say, we're gonna necessarily convince people otherwise. But let's talk though about the actual drop. For the most part, it was just releasing a bunch of dolls that hadn't been available for a little while, especially over the holidays. A couple blue dolls included.
Several blue dolls were included, yeah, and they were, a couple of them were actually marked down a little bit,
Right.
which was pretty interesting. And also, what I noted was Blue Moment actually had said sold out, not coming back soonish, nothing like that. She said sold out, and then there were some of her available.
I think right now, especially with the with the blue girls and the sort of volatility of like he's just gonna keep making this stuff as long as people keep buying it. If there's demand that he sees, he's gonna fulfill it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's getting ready for Gray too. I mean, I'm sure it's still, well in process, but he's getting ready for Gray, so he probably wants to make sure everybody gets blue that wants it, so that he can move on to using those printers and stuff for Gray.
Yeah. It is interesting to see a price drop. I mean, it seems to be a price drop on everyone, I think. Let's take a look. I know Moment dropped, and it's at $69.8, which is, I believe, what it dropped to.
Yes.
It was at, maybe somebody in chat can correct our memories, but it was like
72-ish?
72,000.
Yeah.
So it dropped a few thousand yen, which is basically shipping, right?
Right. Yeah.
Something, thereabouts. At least for us. I don't know how shipping works for, it's about 20 American dollars for them's in the USA. So we've got a little bit of a drop. I don't know. Do you think that this bodes, it portends anything for, in general, the price of blue? Is it...
I think, I mean, like I said, I think he's Gray will probably be the new 72-ish. It could be possible that blue is now, going to come down to that price point.
Yeah. But hey, that's good for everyone. And I know he's trying to just really fulfill. I think he wants to just get rid of it and done with, so he feels good about when he discontinues blue.
Yeah, I mean, he's still putting them out. He knows people like them. He likes them, but he said he was going to do them until people were tired of them, and eventually the market for the blue is gonna subside.
Yeah, to some extent, yeah.
Sirens going on out there.
Yeah, well, we'll ignore the emergency services. So that's what happened last Tuesday, and I think I don't know. I mean, there's not too much to read into, but we'll keep our eye on it, and I'm sure those, at least in the Discord, maybe someone should start like a Google spreadsheet and start marking
when it actually happens,
when the drops happen in relationship to the streams. I'd love to see the data, but yeah. So we had some blue dolls drop with some regular dolls, a blue price drop a little bit. Let's take a look at the other big piece, one of the other big pieces of news that isn't actually Smart Doll related.
Right. Well, it is, but not.
Not exactly. So Batgirl is the next big, license drop that we're looking for between... for coming up, we think in the next. We've decided in our last episode that it was in this next quarter.
Yeah,
Q1 2022. We also have the HBO, I think straight to HBO film of right? Batgirl coming out. And Leslie Grace, the actress who is playing Barbara Gordon in the, I believe she is playing Barbara Gordon. In that movie, tweeted a picture of her costume. So here we have the first look at the next, and actually one of the only current modern day film live action versions of Batgirl.
Yeah, I'm just gonna come right out and say it. I'm not impressed. It looks like a snowsuit.
It's leather. So, okay, this is where you and I think probably you and Danny are probably on the same page, and I disagree. But let's take a look at Danny's version. This is the page for Batgirl. Danny made a really I mean, it probably was a practical choice in terms of money, but also an aesthetic choice to go with, like, denim.
Well, he did the same thing that he did with Supergirl.
Yeah.
It's the DC dolls with smart doll flair. They, like, this fabric is a common CJ fabric. The jackets for, like, the schoolgirl uniforms are the same fabric. Like, Supergirl's uniform is the same.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's all very, I don't know. I like the profile that this creates. It's not as weighty and bulky as the HBO uniform.
Sure.
Would I prefer to see it not faded out? Yes.
So here's my issue, though. It's completely not accurate to the comic, and I get what you're saying. He did this with with that, but the movie version is actually accurate. Is probably the most accurate representation of a comic book costume. Let's take a look at the breakdown of the costume redesign from 2014. So here we have Barbara Gordon. You can see basically, I mean, Danny's got, for the most part, the pieces and the details down.
Right.
But the big key difference here is this is all supposed to be leather. She is a motorcyclist. That's her thing. She loves motorcycles. She rides a motorcycle. And she essentially wears a motorcycle suit.
It does say the jacket is leather.
Yep.
It does not say that the pants are. The pants look like they could be leggings with a black stripe down the side.
I'm pretty sure they're leather, though, because, like, why would you... Like, there is a there's a big practicality with her suit in the comic books, and how she... I mean, she even has, like, a removable cape it snaps on. Like, these are, like, somebody real made this.
Yeah, but I just don't... I'm looking at the way it's drawn. Like, look at all the seaming on the jacket. There would be seaming on leather pants. There's no seaming on those.
There is. This.
That's just... It says matte with a black stripe on the
It's
sides.
a matte black stripes. That's a completely different piece of fabric.
Yeah, but there would be more, like, stitching, like, elsewhere on these pants. I just don't... I think that they might be spandex, but I think they're just leggings. I think she's wearing leggings and boots and a leather jacket.
Yeah. So what I will give you is that they have gone for, like, trying to hit as close to, like, realistic with this as possible and go a full motorcycle uniform. And yeah, there's an element of... There's that... Well, it's literally quilted. For me, the shininess is a little off-putting, but I believe that is... I mean, it's leather. It's how leather actually looks, and it's very high contrast lighting.
Yeah, but if you look at the pants, too, there's, like, some weird... weird texturing and stuff.
Yeah, they have the typical, like, motorcycle pants where the knee is different.
Yeah, and then, like, on the other leg, those upper folds and stuff that are happening. I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't even like the shade of blue. It doesn't seem quite right.
I mean, it's like that there is, what I will say this is the Batgirl, Danny's Batgirl costume is definitely more towards the color because there's a dullness to the blue in here, certainly. Again, I'm interested to see what does this look like, how does this read in the rest of the time versus this one very specific, like, hero shot that they're doing here with very specific lighting. But let's see what the chat says here. Abby says Danny's version is better. So Abby agrees with you. I think in general it's better. I just would rather he didn't do the denim on it. I would rather have seen, like, imagine that costume made with the attention to detail that the shoes are made with. Now, mind you, the thing would probably cost $2,000 just for the clothes.
And people would buy it.
We would. We totally would.
Because we're insane.
Yeah. So let's take a look here. Kaylin says, I think the difference between Batgirl Smart Doll and Batgirl of Burnside is to make her match Supergirl.
Exactly. I mean, he's actually said, like, with Supergirl, that was a look that he was going for, and he carried it forward.
Yep, carried it with, and probably will do something similar with other DC characters. Mm-hmm. Anna says, always wear leather with a motorbike. See, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think you could get away with, even if this wasn't costume accurate, this is even more realistic, for a superhero that rides a motorcycle all the time.
I agree that a whole leather outfit is, like, appropriate, but it still looks like a snowsuit.
Barry Wing says, I read the Batgirl comics, and although I'm not hardcore comics, I would have to agree it really has to be a leather uniform just due to riding a motorcycle. So, I mean, it's an argument of, like, I feel like, yes, Danny's doing it to fit in with his own aesthetic, but I also think Danny is somewhat altering the materials to make it fit with the look of the comic book, not the reality. It's a strange thing to say, but the reality of the comic. Like, this says it's leather, but it doesn't exactly look like leather. It's a more dull color, and leather would never really look like that, but we're going to pull off a more comic-style look by doing that denim.
I mean, and to be honest, we know he has actually come right out and said it. They in fact lose money on the DC licenses. They try to lose as little as they possibly can.
Yep.
If he had made that outfit and had it tooled out of leather, I mean, it would have had to have been a limited edition of, like, 3.
Yeah, probably. I am absolutely sure that, like, doing this entire thing out of leather was, I bet he considered it and maybe ran some numbers, but it was out of the question.
Yeah, I mean, that would be ridiculously pricey.
Yeah, no, the market probably wouldn't support it, and he then wouldn't get his doll into as many hands as possible.
Yeah, I mean, and if you look at what the leather shoes cost, right, to buy.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what a leather suit would cost? That's crazy.
Yeah, no, it would be a lot. Yeah. This sort of conversation has been going around a lot on the internet. Smart Doll Land tends to be like, no, Danny's is way better. Generally, what I'm seeing on Twitter with the response from Batgirl fans in general, like, the majority seems to be eating this up. I definitely can't wait to see what this looks like in action in the movie, how it moves. Like, there's so many more factors for, real life costumes than they are for, a comic book or a doll.
I actually really like the look of the character in the comic book, and I like, she's a lot more slim looking. She looks more like she doesn't fight. Like, she's more likely to get away from a punch.
Yeah, I would say that she definitely has, like, dexterity as a high, she does a lot of, like, flips and things like that. And she also gets her butt handed to her, a number of times in the comics.
And really, how dexterous and flippy can you be in an outfit like the one that's on Leslie Grace? That's going to be stiff.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I'm definitely interested to find out, like, how it moves.
I think about, like, Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman, right? She was in a suit that she could move in and do cat stuff in.
Yeah.
And still looked badass.
Yep.
That's more what I would like to have seen, something more along those lines than this.
Well, I'm sure she can do the things she needs to do. Like, that is a high requirement of a film, to be able to make sure that your actor and your stunt people can move and do the things you need to do in that outfit. So I think it's a lot, I think it's a lot better than we think it is.
Yeah, I mean, the other point on that is, like, yeah, maybe she can move in it. Maybe it has gussets in places and stuff like that. But then that's a highly engineered outfit.
Yep.
Which Batgirl's in the Burnside comics is not. She didn't go and have...
How is this a highly engineered... You mean the fact that, like, how it's movability?
If it has gussets and stuff for movability,
oh, yeah, right,
that is a highly engineered outfit. And
she could have done it
Batgirl
herself.
of Burnside didn't... That's not her suit.
but she could have. I mean, I'm pretty sure she made that suit herself.
That's what I'm saying. She made it herself, and then she's gonna make it like.
Yeah, but she's like a freaking genius. First of all, like
she's a genius at computers and stuff. She's not a sewist.
well, so maybe she programmed, something to do it for her. I'm just saying.
I mean, I can sew, but I can't break into government systems.
Yeah. Well, I'm just glad that there's not an AI version of you running around terrorizing the city.
As I sit here and yell at my husband about this costume.
You guys get to see the passionate side of Sandy and I tonight.
I don't know why I'm so fired up about this, because I wasn't until now.
Any chance? It's like, I can disagree about this.
Okay, what's next? What do we got?
Well, let's take a quick second. There's some chatter in the chat room about the t-shirts. So quickly, I am wearing a t-shirt I just got, and so happy to have the opportunity to wear it. A Tangy t-shirt from Animal Crossing.
We're big fans of the Tangy.
She's my favorite. Like, I literally, like, I was never one to be made happy by that game. As soon as I found her, every time she comes on screen, she makes me happy.
He can be totally angry about something in the game where, like, why do I even have to do this? And he'll see Tangy, and it'll be like, oh, look, it's Tangy!
Yeah, she makes me squeal like crazy. And how about Sandy?
I've got my Sunnydale Bronze t-shirt on that I got recently. It's a Sunnydale Music Bar since 1997, the Bronze.
I love in-universe t-shirts, like things that are not like, here's an advertisement for a show, but here's an advertisement for something that's in a show. Yeah, so we're gonna move on that. I figure actually, while we're talking about shirts and leather and all sorts of stuff, we should probably talk about this lovely lady who's sitting in between us.
Yes, she actually has a name and everything, and I guess, should we give her a welcome tonight?
I think it should happen. I think we'll save it for the end. You want
to talk about what she's wearing?
Yeah. So this girl is wearing tee and toe, the leather jacket, and the plaid shirt. I love both of them. Still sort of developing her style. You'll see her you probably already know who she is if you follow my Instagram, but a crop top from
Rachel
made this on the Smart Doll Appreciation Society's Secret Santa swap thing, right?
Yep. So...
one of my favorite things, which oddly enough Sandy has never been a huge fan of. But
I loved them when I saw them, but then I've never used them really.
I love these, the floral capris from Culture Japan, and some little witchy boots.
And I have a side note about that, but keep going.
There's more?
About the pants. Keep going.
I mentioned the pants, then I mentioned the suits. I'm done with the pants.
I know. Just keep going.
There's nothing else.
I was going to say that I need to get Miranda into these with the blue nice sweater.
Yeah.
Because that was like the first outfit I ever saw her in.
Right. And that's was one of my favorites to put Raycon in.
Yes. Yeah, I need to get Miranda into that outfit. So what else have we got on her?
That's it.
That's it?
Shirt?
New wig.
Oh, yes, sorry. Just got the new wig today. This is Dallas Doll Co. I forget what. It's just a short orangey red wig.
It's pretty.
Yeah, it matches her regular wig reasonably.
It's not too like this, which is what I hate when you get a bob and they like all go like this round voluminous thing.
Yeah.
It's very cute.
So we'll give her an official welcome at the end here. Let's dive back in to our timeline and take a look at what Danny's been posting over the last week. We have a bunch of shoes constantly, but so these have got to be coming up soon, and we cannot wait for them.
Oh, I want those red loafers.
These look so good. I just love the detail on them, and I love like actually having leather versions of them.
Yeah, because the only we missed the brown leather ones. We've only got the vinyl ones that came with Shiki.
Right.
We don't have any like high heeled loafers like this.
Yeah,
so.
we're gonna have to get a number of these because
I would say 2, if we can.
Yeah, I guess I can be talked down to 2. Another tease at Batgirl's costume. We're in a bag. We are getting packed up. We are getting closer and closer.
Yeah, it was really funny. I will say about the whole like superstition thing about him making drops and stuff after the. We talked about when's she gonna come out, and the next day he shows her.
Yeah,
in a
she's
bag.
still coming.
Like, look, the whole outfit. Ooh, now I'm gonna knock things over. The whole outfit is in a bag. You know, it's not like, oh, okay, maybe it's coming sooner than we think.
Yeah, more fuel for the conspiracy fire. These guys, I don't know if anyone specifically has figured out what they are. These weird cones with balls on the end. They are marked with 2mm, 3mm, and 5mm. I'm not sure what they're for. I mean, they look sort of like, you know, the 3D printed masters of something, you know, that he uses for various things. Just generally probably his 3D printing material. And I don't know if this is a joke or not, a joke on what they look like, or if somehow he's actually mildly serious, which I don't know why he would be. But he clearly has put the Daleks in here on purpose. Which is awesome. But
articulate. Articulate.
I would love... The problem is his dolls don't articulate enough to become a Dalek. Because inside a Dalek is basically a little... It started with like a person, I believe. There's somebody in there.
Yeah.
Although I guess you could do like a head, do like a chaos head inside there and do some sort of weird thing. More Naruto scraps and bits.
That looks pretty cool. I like the wrap around there. That looks like really neat on the orange.
Yep. And the headgear. This is supposed to go on, you know, like a wrap. You know, so it's basically attached to a piece of cloth that they then tie around their forehead. And I'm interested to see how this actually attaches.
Yeah, like, is it just gonna blue tack?
I can't. Well, it can't just blue tack. It has to go on a piece of cloth, I would assume. So I would assume there's some sort of little thing on the back that maybe he can sew into or something.
How did it work for the Supergirl costume? I forget. There was a piece that had a.
Well, that was the emblem, wasn't it?
No, the emblem was sewn on, but there was something that came with it that was like a weird piece that you had to use.
Bangtan says it's called a headband. Thank you. Sometimes my brain don't work.
Now, is that another color tint of the dog tags?
No.
Or is he just showing that that's very
It's
silver?
in sunlight. It's in sunlight, and it is white balanced for this gray thing, and so it's a little on the warm side. So Naruto definitely chugging away. Batgirl farther along. Let's see. This is some weird stuff. It looks so much weirder when you're looking at it from the thumbnail. So here we have what I can only assume are masters of the vinyl thigh shells for assumedly the pocket doll. Because I'm not sure why he would be showing masters for anything else. But maybe. And then here we have
a boot.
It's a boot.
Chelsea boot.
And it looks like they're actually using it like a mold, which is interesting.
Yeah, that looks like the Chelsea boot.
So I wonder if he's making like a vinyl version of the Chelsea boot for something.
Maybe.
No, wait, didn't they? I think he did have one. If I'm just thinking about seeing like a boot that had the split in the back, because all the vinyl ones have that split down.
Yeah, because you have to be able to get them on the foot. Maybe it has something to do with making them to fit the pocket doll. The pocket doll is going to need shoes, and her feet are going to be smaller.
Yeah, it could be. We got another. I mean, we've seen this a couple of times now, but pocket doll face comparison, head size.
Genesis there, and then Timeless in the background.
I think so. I haven't stared at Timeless enough to remember, but that sounds about right. We've got. Let's see. More Naruto. We've got a whole pile. This looks like basically a collection of all of the patterns for, assumedly, the
pieces for that jacket.
Yeah, the new Solar Marine jacket that's got like.
That jacket has a lot of pieces.
Yep, a lot of details. I'm really looking forward to those jackets to come out.
That is like some serious outerwear. That's very cool.
We got Lovely Day in the chat. Hello, Lovely Day.
Hello, Sarah.
We've got hijabs.
Yay.
This looks just beautiful.
Yeah.
I love this.
That was before us doing Smart Doll thing. We we never got to get the hijab. Now, a hijab is a scarf. I mean, technically you can put a hijab on any doll you want.
Sure.
And without having one from Smart Doll. But this looks really cool.
and I would, I would just expect that you would want to find the right kind of fabric, and then cut it to the right size, basically.
Yeah, you just have to have, you have to have the right size and the right bulk and stuff. I mean, a hijab can be made out of just about anything.
Yeah.
But you just have to have the right weight of fabric and, the right drape and stuff. But that looks really cool.
The chat is commenting on what's in the background here. That is a very, very red cape.
Like a burgundy cape.
And it almost looks kind of satiny.
Yeah.
With... Kaylin says, maybe it's Power Girl's cape.
Could be, because it's about the right, it's about the color of the, it's almost the Supergirl color. Just not the same fabric.
Right. I mean, it could be a trick of the light, but, seeing this, the way the light is hitting the bottom of the cape and some of these pieces right here, it catches it in a way that to me says it's not just like cotton or denim.
Lee says it kind of looks like Riri.
But I'm not sure why Ironheart would have... Does Ironheart have a cape? I didn't think she does. She do?
I don't think she do.
Sandy's gonna look it up. Probably not before somebody else does. But, yeah, I don't know.
I don't see a cape in this image.
Yeah, no. I mean, because she's Iron Man, so she doesn't do a cape. But I mean, the hair. I mean, I get kind of why you're saying the hair. Definitely, to me, does not say Power Girl.
The color palette works.
Sure.
But
I mean, she doesn't. I mean, again, she doesn't wear a cape. But yeah, that is a. I mean, they could just be putting that sizing on anybody.
Yeah, I mean, what besides Power Girl, what DC hero would that be? I mean, and could it be somebody from Star Wars. Is there somebody that Star Wars has a cape?
Fanta?
I was gonna say
what-
Phasma.
Phasma. Fanta. My T-shirt is starting to rub off on me. Everything's just soda names. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Evie says Doctor Strange, which is possible. I would love it if he made a Doctor Strange and had like the cape with fully wired, like posable, fully wire the cape so you can have it like moving you around.
I mean, Phasma does have a cape, but it's black with red trim.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out, I'm sure, someday. Keep your eye out for that cape in the future. And we've got our first real side-by-side look at size comparison of Smart Doll Plus, Smart Doll, and Pocket Doll. Mm-hmm. Now, I think where we're ending up, the project I'm working on with our anime kabuki prototype has got her sitting a little bit taller than that at about shoulder. I think at shoulder height. I still have. It's just a risk reward thing for me at this point. Like the more I cut off of the frame, the more I risk, breakage of the frame in general usage because it's got less strength, less support. So I can technically make it smaller, but I'm kind of at a semi-comfortable place right now.
I think like what you've got here, that is not like, you're building a little sister,
yes,
as opposed to this is just a smaller version of Smart Doll. I mean, it would be like using a Barbie as a little sister for Smart Doll because of the size. It's a completely, it's the scale. It's not the same thing. And I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it's just,
I think
it's
I
not
know
the
what
same.
you're saying, but it doesn't really matter in terms of like what I'm trying to say. Like I was just using that as a point of reference for where I'm at with what I'm, doing. Mm-hmm. And the shorter I can get her, the younger she's gonna look, basically.
Right.
Because this head's gonna stay the same size. Quick note on the comment of the cape and everything. Barry Wings suggests possibly Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. That's another good option. Although, yeah, I mean, I guess she has capes sometimes and sometimes not. Like,
and isn't it usually red? Like, she's red, white, blue, and gold?
Yeah, it was red, depending on the lighting. You can't trust the lighting that you see in the pictures as to what the actual stuff is, but. Anyway, moving on. Getting close to today. He went on vacation. Miura was the place that he went. This bay here looks quite lovely. We've got more pictures. Again, second time in the last week. More pictures of shoes.
Brown.
Maybe tonight. Maybe tonight.
Brown ones. I didn't even see this picture. I missed that one.
Well, thankfully, she didn't notice that.
What?
No, that's right. She notices everything all the time. Just can't focus on any one thing. Yeah. We've got actually in package the hearing aid, which is cool. So we'll see that. It looks bluer, but again, he may be putting filters on these things half the time. I'm going to guess it should be that same somewhat lighter, dull blue that is on the other devices. Mm-hmm. This is very dark.
Yeah, there's
deep
definitely
blue.
A cool cast on that image.
Yeah, no, I think he put a filter on it. And that does it for like the photos and stuff that he's been posting in his stories. He also posted one actual article. And that's this lady. This would be essentially our top story tonight. But before we get into her, we do just want to take a moment and remind you, if you are enjoying yourself, if you find the Smart Doll news informative, fun, if you just like hanging out, please be sure to give this video a like. Give that a thumbs up, and make sure that we're all helping to spread this to more people, because that's pretty much what it takes to get other people to see the video. So help us out, and we'll keep hanging out with you every Tuesday night. So our Sleeping Beauty here, let's read what he says. It's very short. Because we need more than our eyes to see what reality truly is. And the hashtags are pretty standard hashtags that he's using.
Yep.
Nothing stands out there. So this is really interesting. What do you think this means? Is this, first of all, is that a doll that exists already? With closed eyes? Is this a version of a doll? Or is this a new doll with closed eyes?
I think it's a version. I think we might start seeing that. Looks like, is that Dauntless?
If it is, she's kind of smiling. Is Dauntless got that little upturn these days? Smart doll. Let's search Dauntless.
Oh, the eyebrows aren't right.
Definitely
No.
not Dauntless. And way too much eye makeup there.
She does have a little bit of a smile now. But
Yeah, no, you're right.
It's not the same thing, though.
It does. Maybe Barry Wing says possibly Dimension. So let's take a look at Dimension's face.
Mention.
Don't.
Eyebrows are wrong again.
Yeah, that is tough. Although it's a very light thing. I don't know. I mean, it could be. I'm actually kind of leaning back towards Dauntless, considering, I mean, it's fairly thick enough, and we have to think, like, he is collapsing the top and bottom lid. I mean, we don't get to see those little bits hanging out the bottom, but that's because the top lashes are overriding everything. So I don't know. I'm going to say if it is somebody, it probably is Dauntless. Just my gut reaction with the eyebrows and everything.
Might be Genesis?
No. I don't. Well,
No, the bottom lashes are wrong.
And I feel like if he were going to interpret, Genesis has such a very distinct like end to her, like those little like T.
And it could
marks.
also be timeless.
Yeah.
The neat thing about it is that would actually be very cool. You can't tell what it is from here. It could be Pocket Doll, and that would actually be neat for a mannequin.
That's very true.
A mannequin with no eyes, like just with the eyes closed.
Yeah.
Is actually a really cool idea.
If it's not going to really be a full doll or something like that. I mean, I don't know. I would, you know me though, I love alternate faces, and this gives me I don't even want to begin to hope, because like this really reads as we could have alternate versions, like closed-eyed versions.
Yeah.
I love alternate face-ups. And I would love to see him do more of that, even if they're like short limited runs and you're buying just the head or something like that.
Well, like I've been saying, I want him to do Comey from Comey Can't Communicate, and do a doll that comes with two heads. The one head with the more round eyes and the excited expression, and then a regular like beauty face.
Yep. I think that would be. I mean, you almost have to if he were to do that. I mean, he could avoid it, but it would be so cool if he did both of those and allow you to have the anime and maybe. Actually, yes, this is the smarter thing, and this is what I bet Danny would do if he were to ever make a Comey can't communicate doll. He would make 2 dolls.
And you'd
have to choose semi-real or anime.
Right, probably.
Which, but I would love it if he just combined them into both, because I think anyone who
it would
had
be
her
like a deluxe edition. You'd just want both heads, you know?
Yeah, but give us alternate faces, Danny. We love more customization options.
I would think this would also lower a price point, too, by just a little bit.
What do you mean?
He doesn't... I mean, the eyes get painted anyway. He paints lashes and stuff on anyhow, so that's already in labor.
Yeah.
Right? But he doesn't have to cut out eye sockets, and he doesn't have to give eyes with the doll.
Yes, but here's the problem. This is a different sculpt. To have a G7, now he would have, in order to, it unto itself is reusable, but if he were to take a G7 girl and want to make a closed eye version, they would have to make another sculpt with closed eyes.
Right, because there's actually a line there for the eye to sit in.
So he needs new masters, but at least once that happens, he could make closed eyes versions of any G7 girl.
Right.
So, and because then it's just the paint. Sonia says it is Genesis, just with closed eyes, probably digitally altered. I'm not... All right, well, let's take a quick look at Genesis and see if these the eyebrow and this little guy here is matching. Let's take a look. I don't think so. Genesis has like no lashes.
But she does have her eyes closed in this one, so her top lashes would come down conceivably.
Yeah, but
and
she
touch
has
the bottom.
lashes.
Yeah.
Like she has clear lashes here. I do think you're right though that this is probably photoshopped.
Because there's some...
You can see here there's a little bit of white, skin peeking through, and there, and just the digitalness. I mean, it's zoomed in anyway, but
it's also not the same, like that is there on that side and it's not over here.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, this is in general this is likely photoshopped, but I do not think at all that this is Genesis. But I don't think we have a good match just yet, but I'm sure she's out there.
But the whole concept is kind of cool. I mean, it would be really neat to see a closed eye doll.
I mean, I guarantee you this conversation right here, not ours, but the conversation is exactly why he put this out there. Because he thought, it might be interesting. Let's see what people say about this.
I think it's a great solution, a great idea for the mannequin. I honestly do. I would like... mannequins, if I was going to have a mannequin, I'd want them to have their eyes closed, because otherwise it's not a mannequin. It's got eyes.
It
has a soul.
Yeah.
It is a doll now that moves differently. If you take away the eyes, there's no soul in it. It's just like a place to hold your beautiful clothes.
I just don't see him. I mean, who knows? Danny seems to invest a lot of money in some whims here and there and things that just interest him, like the blue dolls. I mean, not that it doesn't interest his audience too, or his customer base, but you can see that his passion drives his like research and development. But he's also willing to scrap things when they're just not really selling enough, because he has to be able to practically warrant the cost involved in creating these things. And most of that cost has to do with, like, you know, the molds, the master molds, the electroplating for a doll, for the face paint masks, and you know, it's a big investment. And my guess is, as much as this gives me hope, we're not going to see, maybe except for a one-off or something like that. You know, but he's got to, you know, if he were to try and prototype this and then maybe it ends up in the prototype garage, I mean, it's going to take a little bit of work. He's got to make a new sculpt.
Mm. I'm 100% in favor of it for the mannequins.
I'm 100% in favor of it for every single doll. Give me more. Give me smiling. Give me
definitely
alternate
more
expressions.
Faces. Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, we've already put some effort into getting that done, but I'm just saying, like, I just think it's a great idea for the mannequins because, like I said, if it's got eyes in it, it's not a mannequin. It's a doll. It's got a personality. It's got a soul. Yep. You've got to name it. You know.
Totally. So, that is this week's news. Before we go and you know, let you get back to your evening, we have one last thing to take care of here.
This lovely lady right here, and man, she is drop dead gorgeous in person.
So yeah, she is. And if you can't tell, this is Smart Doll Ambition. Sandy tracked her down somehow and gave her to me for Christmas. She did not get an unboxing because she was a surprise under the tree. And whereas I forced Sandy to open certain presents in front of the camera, she wanted that to just be a surprise. Mm-hmm. So she's my girl. This was the last girl on my list. And her name is London. She is either one of two things. She is either sort of competition for Vignette in the modeling industry, but I also think she's a photographer as well. Is she? Mm-hmm. Yeah, her name is London, which is actually a nickname that turned into her singular name over time, and one of those, you know, take the things that people are well, it's kind of like Jinx, so I guess we've sort of done this already, but, you know, own the annoying nickname that kids gave you, you know, in high school or in elementary school, and be it. But so this is London, still working on her style. You'll see more pictures of her on my Instagram at Smart Doll Folio, and yeah, there's already some up there. And I've got some wigs, and I think I know that she's always going to be a redhead. But I think she is maybe going to change her eyes. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But the red hair, the cinnamon skin tone, even though I'm sure she's...
Maybe green eyes?
Yeah, maybe. Go a little more classic. I'm not sure. But yeah. So we're going to welcome her into the court. We're going to need your help since it's live and since you're there. And I don't know if you're doing this already, but I hope you are when we do this during the normal show. But you're going to have to welcome her along with us.
Because there are a lot of members of the Court of Disdain, and she needs her full welcome.
Yep. Yeah, especially since she didn't get an unboxing.
Right.
So, I forget. What do we say again? Was it just name and then welcome to...
welcome so-and-so to the Court of Disdain, yes.
All right, so everyone in chat, get ready. Welcome London to the Court of Disdain. Yay! Oh, we're such dorks.
We are really dorky, yeah. But it's a tradition now, so we kind of have to do it.
Yep.
And I mean, really, oh my God. Like, I personally did not quite get into this doll as much as John did when I saw the pictures. She is freaking stunning in person. Like when she is right in front of you, that face and those
Yeah.
eyes, she is, ugh, like just so good.
So, yeah. Say hello, everyone. Say hello, London, to everyone. You made probably the biggest debut of all of our dolls at this point.
Yeah, she's kind of got kind of a bit of a. We talked about like she's got kind of a little bit of an Avril Lavigne kind of thing, but like more high end.
Well, you know me. I mean, I like to mix styles and blend things a bit, and you know, with like Raycon has sort of this mix of like she's a little cottagecore, but or you know Mori K sort of stuff, but she also is like, you know, more punk as well, like goth, like there's like she wears a lot of very Japanese stuff, but a lot of styles. And for her, you know, I just try and think about what a real, you know, a modern fashionable woman in, you know, in a big city like London would wear, and with some like good grounding pieces. So she's more plaids, but not, you know,
This
not
whole
feminine.
pattern mixing thing, 100% him.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know about this.
I like it. I think it's cute. I probably would not have put them together.
That's usually how it goes with us. Mm-hmm. I usually have to give you stuff to wear. I'm like, you need to put these together. And that's what you get for marrying a designer. So there she is. That is it for us. It's been a great week, and, you know, enjoy the drop that's coming. Or isn't.
Don't let us down, Danny.
I was like, Danny, if you are listening, don't do it. Just, you got to start messing with everybody. So you got to mix it up. Yeah. I'm sure nothing will happen now. Or will it? And we will see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.
I should have queued this up.